What's going on, everyone? I'm Encore. This is Tomorrow Never Comes, and today's video I want to talk about a phrase that if you've been in the space at all, in the crypto space at all, you'll know you've heard multiple times, and if this is the first time you hear it, it's something you should know what it means because you will definitely encounter it along the way, and that is not your keys, not your crypto. Another variation of that is not your keys, not your coins. So these, they essentially say the same thing. And that is that whether it be an exchange like Kraken, Crypto.com, Celsius, any of the other major ones, any exchange really, or any hot wallet like My Ether wallet, even MetaMask, these are platforms that you are giving essentially the rights to your crypto. Right now, MetaMask is a little bit different than the exchanges, and same with the other hot wallets. But they all have the same inherent risk, which is to be hacked. Right, that's one. So anything that's connected, obviously, to the web has that inherent risk. How easy, how hard, that depends on the platform and the security around that platform for sure. And that's gotten better over time. Typically with the bigger platforms, better security, so there is a little bit more safety there, but at the end of the day, that is a risk. Okay, beyond that though, now we talk specifically about the exchanges. Remember, these are centralized exchanges, meaning there's someone who's in it for a profit, there's someone who's controlling it, making decisions, maybe a group of people, a group of individuals, but by and large there is someone who is responsible for your account, right? They also do what's called KYC, which is know your customer. So you have to give your information, driver's license, passport, some kind of identification, a proof of identification, so they know who you are, they know your account, and they know the assets that you have. So not very difficult for them to freeze your account, suspend your account, or disrupt it in any other way. So as long as you're giving that right or that power or authority to someone else, your coins will always be at risk. There's always a risk. These exchanges could get mandated from a government for the country that you reside in, and they'd have to follow those. And now if you see with Crypto.com and these other platforms, they have certain thresholds with which now they have to disclose, or at least monitor, if not disclose outright to the governments, that certain transactions were made by this account, by extension by you specifically, since they know your customer, right? So I believe Crypto.com is now anything over $1,000. Any transaction over 1,000 will have to be reported. So that defeats the whole purpose of decentralization, right? Obviously, yes, you still own your assets, right? Technically you do, but in authority, in access, you've kind of put in an institution in the middle. So kind of like a bank, same thing. So those are the risks. That's why they say not your keys, not your coins. Now here in Canada, where they had the issues with the truckers, the Canadian government wanted to freeze assets, the crypto assets, for anyone who was involved. Now, fortunately, the platform pretty much told the government to take a hike. But let's say they didn't. Had they complied, they have the information. Essentially, they could do exactly what was done with the GoFundMe, or the GoFundMe-like campaign that the truckers had, where all assets were frozen and returned back to the anyone who donated to them. So these are the risks involved. You never want, the whole point of crypto, the whole point of Bitcoin is decentralization. You want to have access when you want, right? Whenever you want. You want to do with it what you want to do. You want to send it to whoever you want to send it to. That's the point of decentralization. So yes, and even myself, I have certain things on exchanges. You can earn yield, and all those things are great. But if you look at what's been happening on these platforms, the yield will change, right? They'll just all of a sudden say, hey, as of next month, instead of I think crypto.com was 6.5% at a certain threshold. And now they said that anything, I can't remember the exact numbers, but it's down to like 4% at a certain point, and I think even down to 1% if you are in a lower tier for whatever packages they have. Celsius has done it. BlockFi has changed their rates. All these different platforms, they'll change their rates, and you don't know why. Can they bump up later? Sure, but for the most part, they're just going to decrease, right? Just they don't want to, especially for Bitcoin and ETH, those blue chips. Why would they want to give astronomical amounts of interest for those? Doesn't make any sense. So that's essentially what own your keys, right? That's really what the whole gist is if it's not your keys, if you don't own your keys, it's not your coins. So don't give that right to somebody else. Don't give that authority to somebody else to do something with your crypto. That's the take-home message here, right? Now, if you want to play around with certain things, put it on certain exchanges to see and play with the platform, of course, 100%. But there needs to be a certain amount that you keep in a cold storage, like a Ledger or a Trezor, something that's like a USB, and that's in your property. You can put in a safe, you can do whatever you want, buried in the ground, whatever the case is. But that's in your control. You do as you please. All right? So I just wanted to go over that. That's a statement that comes up quite a bit, a phrase that comes up quite a bit, and sometimes we don't really know what that means. So guys, remember, tomorrow never comes. All right? Start engaging with these platforms, but make sure you have in your own property these assets. All right? Jump in the game, and we'll see you in the next one, guys. Take care.